For as little as $1 per month, you can support independent journalism by supporting Mieum Media on Patreon. That's mere pocket change to support quality local content creation. To subscribe, visit patreon.com/MIEUM Media. Thank you to all paid subscribers for helping to grow Mieum Media and for supporting independent journalism. Enjoy reading books? If you've ever been to Niantic, a small village in East Lyme, Connecticut, then you've probably heard of the Book Barn. Open 9 to 9 every day, the Book Barn is one of Connecticut's most popular used bookstores. Visitors can donate or sell old books, as well as browse their absolutely enormous book collection. In fact, they have so many books that they have split into 4 locations: a downtown branch, a midtown branch, and a small branch up the street, in addition to the original location. But given the popularity of online retailers, I was curious what makes Book Barn so successful. For answers, Mieum Media spoke with Book Barn owner Randi White.
It is a used bookstore, but we run it the same way you would just run a bookstore. We shelve the same way, we organize the same way, they just happen to be used books. And because we can keep our price points low, we get people from all over the place buying, because it's, as readers, and if you're a compulsive reader like so many of us are, you can't afford to buy brand new books, 5, 6, 7 books a week.
It's no secret that bookstores in the US are hurting. Barnes & Noble is cutting back locations, and big names like Borders and Waldenbooks, which was founded in Bridgeport, have gone out of business completely. But the numbers aren't all bad. While big-name booksellers are declining, the number of independent bookstores is actually rising.
I have not seen that big of a change, to be honest with you. I think I was more afraid of ebooks when they first came out, but I just have the feeling, I certainly have my generation, that we like our books, we like our collections, we like to have be surrounded by books. And I thought if any generation was going to be the ebook generation, it would certainly be the kids of today, but I'm finding our fastest growing section is teen books. There's been a real generational changeover in the last 10 years or so, and seeing all kinds of different books, but our sales are staying the same or growing, but just a change. We're seeing different things than what we used to see.
Randi told Mieum Media that while he was initially worried about ebooks, he no longer is. Not only have ebook sales plateaued, but only 7% of people in the US read digital books exclusively.
But the one thing that I think I sort of misunderstood of it was that it would be you were either an ebook person or you're a book person. I have many, many customers who do both. But no, I don't really do it because I think there is still something, and people of all ages talk about the touch, the smell, you get a new book and the first thing you do is you look at the back jacket and you look at this and you know.
Despite conventional wisdom to the contrary, reading is alive as ever.
More Americans read books today than did in the 1950s.
I asked Randi if this matches his perception as well.
My gut feeling is that I think reading is increasing. I mean, I see a lot of teachers in here. I hear different stories. But when you see the people come in here with their kids who come in here to read, and then that generation gets older and they bring their kids who read, it's just so wonderful to talk about. Or having parents come in, or grandparents come in, sell their books, and they say, well, when my kids come here for the summer, I'm going to give them this credit so they can go crazy and buy books. I mean, that's just such a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
But even if independent bookstores are doing okay, the Book Barn has clearly tapped into something unique. Used bookstores don't typically open 4 branches in the same town unless they're doing something special. Randi mentioned 2 factors that seem to be driving the Book Barn's success. The first is browsability.
I cannot look online for a book that I don't know exists. I mean, there's nothing, I've been doing this for 32 years, and I still see every day a book I never knew existed. And there's sometimes a book comes in, it's like, I am so glad I'm in a profession that people felt that this book needed to be published, because it's so obscure or so delightful that but they didn't make any money on it, but somebody just felt that this book needs to exist.
In recording footage for this story, I found many different genres of books that I would have never otherwise been connected to. Vintage children's books, outhouses, weather vanes, and covered bridges, life-threateningly large art books, death, dying, and grief, samurai night fever, 20th century naval history, role-playing, cozy mysteries, and erotica in both novel and comic book form. In the age of algorithm-fueled internet searching, it may be harder to expose oneself to different content online. According to Randi, the second factor driving Book Barn's success was visitors' experiences.
This is a generation that wants experiences. They don't necessarily want, like you say, a Walmart or a Stop and Shop or whatever. I mean, you do there because you get something you need and then you go, but it's not a place that you go and relax. And maybe you only find one book, but it was a nice experience. Or maybe you find 10 books because you find things you never even thought of or needed or whatever. It can be a great experience. We have people come who just stroll. We've had people meet here and get married from here, had, a lot of different things like that. So I think it's always been that way, but this generation specifically, and I've seen it and heard many, many times.
The Book Barn is absolutely gigantic. But in addition to browsing books, visitors can play any number of outdoor games, enjoy the complimentary coffee and snacks, or use the free wireless internet. Kids can play on the playground, or even ride in one of these small cart things. In addition to quirky themed rooms, and these petting farm animals, there's also ample seating for reading or picnicking. Oh, and there's also a number of cats that live at the Book Barn too. So in addition to affordable prices and a huge variety to browse through, the Book Barn also cultivates a unique experience for visitors. I have to admit that I almost exclusively purchase books from the Apple Books store. But in researching for this story, I realized that a lot of conventional assumptions about books are wrong. More people are reading books. Ebooks have not dominated the market, and independent bookstores are not being decimated. I asked Randi if he had any other advice he would give to other independent bookstores. Here's what he said.
Just follow your heart, really, is all it can be. This has got to be something that you do because you absolutely love it. It can't be for any other reason than that. And once you've done this, once you've been in this business, you don't want to do anything else. That's the problem. It would be, I can't imagine leaving here and doing something else.